Hey beautiful souls, I'm here today with me and Allie's detangle video. Just basically how I detangle her hair either after I haven't done it in a while, it's just been in a style for a while, needs to be washed, whatever it is, just based on the circumstances. And it just needs a good detangle. So I just start by sectioning off the hair in two big sections first. That way I can work in smaller sections. And for this particular detangle, because I'm not going to style it right away, I just want to detangle it so it'll be easier to style when I get to that point. I'm just going to make uneven parts, uneven smaller sections and then uneven parts in those sections, just because I don't like continuously parting her hair the same way, because it eventually starts to create I don't want to say indentions, but your hair gets used to being parted a certain way. And if you're not careful, that could cause hair damage along the way, because it'll cause thinning and things like that. But what I like to do is just add some water, as you can see, get the hair nice and damp. It makes it easier for separating. And then I just put those in smaller sections, just because I create about 2 braids per uneven section. And I just put a clip on the section I'm not working on. And once I have it damp enough how I want, because you don't want to add too much water, but you want to be able to make sure that it's gotten enough evenly throughout the hair. But once I do have it all throughout the hair and just kind of gently squeeze it through, this piece was like not taking the water right away. Again, I just like squeeze it through and get it nicely in there. But I just take my comb and start at the ends of the hair and comb it upward, because you don't want to just try and comb straight down more coily type hair, because Allie's hair is pretty much I'll give it a 4B going on C texture, and you definitely don't want to comb straight through that. That will definitely damage the hair, and not only will it hurt your child, but the whole point is growing their hair and treating it and keeping it healthy, not damaging it and like unnecessary stuff. So after I'm finished, I'm combing it and making sure my comb can go all the way through it like this. That's the magic of that water. I do go ahead and just add some of my moisturizer. I am so tired. But moisturizer, I tried to show you, I just used like a dime size amount. Silly girl, whenever I let her hair go, she thought it was time to play it. But I just run it through the hair, making sure I get the ends really good. If I go from root to tip. And then I just take a soft brush and brush it in, making sure again I get the ends. And I just brush until I feel like it's gotten enough of the moisturizer in it. And then I go ahead and braid it. This is pretty much what I do the entire time on her head. I just section, like I said, each different area unevenly, just because you don't want to section the hair off the same way every time. And I go through and I dampen it just enough to make sure I can comb through it without friction. And coily hair loves water. Like, I know it's a myth that black people's hair or ethnic people's hair that's really curly, coily, whatever you want to call it, doesn't like water or stay away from water and all this other nonsense. But in reality, it loves water. That's what stretches it and gives it that easier manageability. But again, I just show you the amount I use, and Allie just thinks it's playtime all the time, but just because she's a baby. But I just smooth it all up there and just make sure it's in there really well. And again, I just brush with a soft brush, which you can get pretty much anywhere. You definitely want to feel the bristles, because you don't want to use a hard brush, especially again on coily hair, because it'll get caught in it and damage the hair, and it'll be pointless. Like, there's no point in doing things that's going to damage the hair. And I just braid it down, like I said. I just keep going until I'm pretty much done with her head. She literally has enough hair for like 3 or 4 babies. So, and just a side note, we watched this show called Coily and Me. My mom found this other show called, I think, Wordplay or something also, but they teach, well, Coily and Me teaches your kids the alphabet, their numbers, and a whole bunch of stuff, even Swahili. So it's a great show on YouTube, Akili and Me. It's a great little show for especially girls of color. All children of color, really. But it has a little girl of color as the main character. It's a really good show. And again, as you can see, I'm just combing through it. And once I get it the way that I like, and I feel like, it's detangled enough. My baby has long hair. It just curls up so much like how mine does. Obviously, this hair in my head right now isn't mine, but when my hair is out, before I had got my locks, it was literally the same way. But I just rub it in my hands and moisturize. And my baby is just so happy watching this show. I don't even remember what the episode was about, but she was so excited the whole time. That's another reason this took so long, because she kept doing baby stuff literally the whole time. But that's why she's a precious girl. Look at her. But anyway, you just have to have patience with your kids, especially when you're trying to do their hair. There's no need to, make them upset in a way of like being rough with their hair and all that sort of stuff, because that would be counterproductive anyway. Also, just a quick note here, I was going through the hair at the ends, just trying to separate it more because it had got more caught in itself. And there's a way. You don't have to. I know people like to try and use a rat tail comb to get out what they call like beads and stuff like that. But if you really just take the time to keep separating the hair gently and like kind of doing it like a weaving or sewing motion, you can actually loosen the hair without having to damage it to get it untangled. I'll try remember to make like a quick little snippet or something like that on maybe my Instagram or something, just to show you what I mean, but it's kind of hard to explain without showing you. This is just how I do the front part, because I want to try and get the edges down as much as possible too. So I just like spray it as much as I can without getting water all on her face and making a mess everywhere too. And I just comb it going down and back instead of just going straight back, just to help her edges, because with hair that's kind of coily and things like that, you don't want to cause a lot of tension pulling it straight back. You want to pull it down in a more relaxed motion as much as possible. And I just add the moisturizer. Kind of use it like almost like if it was an edge control type of thing. I just smooth it on the side of her baby face. Well, not the side of her face, but like where her edges are. And I use a brush to just brush it down as well. She was not feeling the brush because it did brush her face a little bit as I was trying to brush her edges. She was not feeling it. And then, of course, once I'm done brushing, I will just braid it down. But I just want to get the ends real good and things like that. Make sure the moisturizer is all throughout the hair. And like I said, that silly girl kept hopping up and down, but hey, she's a kid. And so once I finally finished braiding this side, I just go ahead and work on finishing her hair, because after a while she started getting sleepy, and I don't even remember what time of night this was. And my baby held on as long as she could. She did really good though. Like I said, she was hopping up, giggling and laughing, but that's what babies do. And she started getting sleepy right here. And also, like I said, I need to wash her hair. I've just been so pregnant that it's been more difficult. Like, my mom even helps me give her bath right now just because I can't really squat down. But I am going to wash her hair as soon as possible. Right now, I just keep it moisturized and keep it clean. Because even with coily hair, too, you don't want to wash it like every week. Maybe every 2 weeks, depending on how dirty it is. But if it's not dirty, you just want to keep it moisturized, really. Especially because a lot of shampoos strip the hair. But I use my shampoos on her hair just because they don't have all those chemicals and things like that to them. And it's just made with natural ingredients and has moisturizers in it. So it actually conditions the hair. Like, literally conditions it. I'm not just branding that like a lot of companies do. And it actually strips it. It actually conditions it. So I believe this is the last section that I'm doing. I'm just going through it now with the comb after I spray the water on it. Oh, also, I'm using my hair growth oil on her hair. It's actually a conditioning treatment for the scalp as well. And so what I do, I just literally put it on her scalp. All over the different parts that I made, because again, they're not neat, so put some all over the parts and rub it towards from her root to the base, or what am I trying to say, from her root to her hair itself. And don't mind my cat, like, he's so rude right now. Like, I'm literally trying to record. I'm not starting over either. But now I'm just braiding the ends of some pieces of braids that I didn't go all the way down on, but I'm like, can't leave that like that. But I'm pretty much done. That's her hair detangled. And I can't remember exactly how long it took, but it's really not that long of a process. If your child's able to sit down and not think everything's a game. And then she wasn't even paying attention. I was telling her I was done. I just wanted to get a good look around it. But she wasn't trying to hear all that. And she didn't want me to keep playing with her hair. And some of it was touching her ears. She just, didn't have time for any of that. So she didn't have time for any of it. So I was like, alright, whatever. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I thank you guys for joining me. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Instagram, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.